perfect beer pour. Tilt the glass. Pour the beer. Straighten the glass. Finish it off.
Okay, so this might be a little bit of a controversial and unconventional take and takes a bit longer, but just stick with me. So the standard way of pouring a beer, whether it's from tap, bottle or can, is to usually tilt the glass about 45 degrees and then gently pour down the side of the glass until it is about 2/3 full. Then the glass is usually straightened at the end to get about an inch of foam. And you know, it's all about minimizing that foam. Speaking of foam, what do we usually do when we get foam? Well, often we just pour it down the drain. Pouring money down the drain because we might be a little bit too impatient to wait for a proper beer pour. And then again, and then again, and then even again. But with this method, not only can you stop pouring your foam down the drain, you will also get a better pour and a better craft beer experience than the foam minimizing perfect pour. Before we dive deeper, let me just say this up front. You should enjoy your beer however you like it best, regardless of what I might be going on about here. I'm not suggesting that the 45-degree pour will ruin your beer. This kind of pour is perfectly fine, and the quality of the beer itself will be the main factor in whether it's any good or not. What I'm about to show you is more for those of you who want to try something different at home. It's not necessarily practical for busy venues where people don't want to wait ages for their beer. But if there are any hardcore beer enthusiasts out there in dedicated craft beer venues who enjoy experimenting, it could be worth a shot. The main goal of today's video is to share something that, if you're as much of a craft beer enthusiast as I am, might enhance your craft beer experience. I encourage you to give it a try and let me know in the comments below if you think it made a difference or if I'm just a complete muppet. So if you're all about
extracting every last drop of experience from our craft beer, I have the solution for you. Pour straight down the middle of the glass. Now, I don't mean get your bottle and turn it upside down, kind of pour down the middle. But we're going to be pouring down the middle of our glasses from now on.
So to do this, you need to take your glass confidently. Confidence is the key. Don't let that pretend beer snob stop you. I mean, if you're going to be a beer snob, then do it right. Place your beer under the tap, can, bottle, whatever you're pouring out of, and just pour it straight down the middle. I mean, it doesn't have to be a geyser. Don't get your bottle conditioned expensive Belgian beer and just glug it upside down. No need to really destroy expensive beer. Just confidently and gently down the middle of the glass. Yes, it will foam up, but that's okay. Foam traps aromatic compounds from the beer, enhancing the sensory experience with smoother mouthfeel. So what you're going to do is you're going to let the foam settle. Then you're going to go in for another pour once the foam has settled. Then repeat until the glass is full. Yes, it takes a bit longer, but it is certainly worth the wait. It's also worth pointing out that yes, this beer is probably overcarbonated, and for those that are wondering, it's the Grodziska that we brewed on the channel a couple weeks ago. So yes, this style of beer is meant to be highly carbonated and is supposed to be served sort of like half foam really. But yes, it is overly carbonated, but it does go to show that even if your taps are over foaming or over carbonated, you can still save your beer and you don't need to worry about pouring your foam down the drain. Look at all this beer that we threw away before with all that foam. I did also notice that the foam in the jug also dissipated or settled quicker than in the jar, so I suspect that having a wider glass will result in this process being a bit quicker.
It's delayed gratification, but it's certainly worth it. I mean, look how stunning that beer looks. I mean, yes, it does take a while, but how many things in life are much more worth it when it's slow and long rather than short and fast? Same here. I mean, look at that. That's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Hardly any foam wasted, gone down the drain at all. Okay, so we have here a dark wheat beer that I have on tap, which I have brewed and tasted on the channel before, and is the basis for the first commercial beer that JKB Brewing is going to release. So here on your right, we've got the angled pour. And as you can see, the foam has dissipated very quickly, whereas this was the straight down pour. And you can see here that the straight down pour, look at that foam that is still residing on top. Now, I haven't poured the glass all the way up, but imagine if we had filled them to the top like normal. Maybe here for the angled pour, having a finger or so of foam on here, you have this amazing crown of foam on top of your beer. This foamy goodness, foamy, creamy, aromatic goodness on top of your beer. It would just be amazing. But let's just see what it tastes like. What's the difference? So let's go to the angled pour first. A lot of carbonation on the tongue. And let's see how this compares to the how this compares. How does this compare to the straight pour? So straight away, this is so creamy in the mouth. You get such a smooth, creamy mouthfeel. It is just absolute night and day compared to this. Like here, you get that carbonation on the tongue, like little needles on the tongue. Here, this is just so creamy and smooth. A little bit of a fuller mouthfeel. Yeah, this is just so much better. So yes, while it doesn't feel as carbonated as this, you certainly get more of the beer coming through. Almost a little bit more on the aroma as well. You get more of the aromas coming from the beer, that chocolate, or sorry, the coffee and that chocolate and that wheat character, as opposed to this one with the no head. But yeah, this has got a carbonic bite to it. This doesn't. Creamy, smooth, much easier to drink. Just so much better all round. Okay, but you're probably saying, that's all well and good, right? I mean, I've poured it out of a tap, but you know, I don't have a tap at home. I've just got cans and bottles. Like, does that still make a difference? Well, let's test it. Okay, so now let's test it with cans. So I've got 2 cans here of the local Brewing Co. Victory Draught. On your left, we're gonna go with the straight down pour, and on your right, we're gonna go with the angled pour. So straight down. Alright, we'll just let that settle a bit while we do our perfect poured angle pour. What's it smell like? It's like this banana note. Smells really good. As you can see, there we go. Finish that off. Angled pour, no foam. Straight pour, we've still got foam. So let's see, what do we get? Alright, so with this one, getting a little bit of carbonation on the tongue. It's like it almost reminds me of like a German lager, really. Sort of a bit of like sweet and savoury bread notes, a little bit of a crackery bread note on finish, but there's also this like sweet lingering note as well. Okay, how does that compare to this one over here? Okay, there's not as much carbonation on the tongue, you don't get that carbonic bite, but again, you get like that bit of a smoother, creamier mouthfeel from it. Get a little bit more of that hoppiness coming through. Whereas in this one, it's almost like that carbonic bite, that carbonation from that angled pour, that gas, the excess gas that hasn't come out, that adds that carbonic bite. It's like it's almost like it's a little bit distracting from the beer, whereas in here you don't get that distraction. It's just amazing, creamy smoothiness, and you get all that flavour of the beer coming straight through. It doesn't have to fight through that carbonic bite. None of that. You just get the beer, you get the flavour of the beer, and it's just amazing. I'm putting it out there, it's an absolute crime if you get your Nitro beer and you pour it on an angle.
Okay, so it's future me here. So most of the time when I pour Guinness or Nitro beer on an angle, I struggle to get any head at all. But of course, during this video, it decided to get head. So probably because I'm putting myself out on the internet, ready to be ridiculed.
Also, by the way, a Nitro beer, like this Guinness, because this was what was available to me at the time, is the only time in which, when you're pouring a beer from a can or a bottle, that it should be poured upside down. Otherwise, that is also a crime against craft beer, and the craft beer police are going to come and find you. Though you could argue whether this really is craft beer or not, being a sparkling beer, but that's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is about pouring beer. So, pouring it upside down looked a lot better. Let's just say that. So, let's just actually see whether they taste any different. Well, they may look similar. There is a difference in taste. Again, this one is a bit smoother, a bit more creamier, and more of those kind of like roasty chocolate notes coming through a little bit more than this one, I would say. There's a little bit more carbonation on the tongue. It's getting in a way of some of that beery goodness. If anyone pours you a Nitro beer with an angled glass, what you need to do is you need to take their beer license off them, burn it, destroy it, and send it to beer re-education camp.
Haha, don't do that. You are entitled to pour your beer any way you want, despite my sarcasm and being a complete muppet throughout this video.
So after all of that, what can we conclude about pouring straight down the glass versus pouring on the angle? So yes, pouring on the angle is a lot quicker. You know, you can, there, done, gone. Pouring it straight down, yeah, you have to pour it once, wait for it to settle, maybe pour it a second time, wait for it to settle, maybe pour it a third time, fourth time, depending how carbonated the beer is. But I would say the result is so much better. It's so much more creamier, so much more fuller on the mouthfeel, but it also interferes with your tongue and actually tasting the beer. All you get this, particularly with some highly carbonated beers, which I tried today, all you do is you get that CO2 dancing on your tongue, prickling your tongue, but it interferes with the flavour of the beer. When I had those beers poured straight down, you get the creamier mouthfeel and you get the full flavour of the beer. And at the end of the day, that's what we're there for. We want to taste the beer, we want to experience all those flavours of the beer, all those aromas. We want to have that amazing looking head. It's all about the whole experience of enjoying your beer. That is what craft beer is all about, right? It's about the whole experience.
But just to reiterate, you should experience your beer and pour your beer however you want in your preferred method. And if you don't agree with what I'm saying here, that's totally cool. I just hope that I've given you something else to potentially think about, something else to try. And if you do try it, let me know in the comments below whether you think it did make a difference or not, and which one you prefer, and if I'm just totally full of crap. I do have one final thought I'd like to end on.
Yes, it takes longer, but think about Guinness, right? Think about going to the pub and getting a pint of Guinness. Yes, it takes longer. You have to wait for the bartender, pour the beer, they let it settle, you have to wait there a few minutes, they top it up and all that. But yet, Guinness is one of the most popular beers on the entire planet. And so that extra waiting has not stopped Guinness, has it? So you should let a few impatient minutes stop you from enjoying your beer to the fullest. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification so that you can go through more beer tips, tricks, and beer exploration. There's a big world of craft beer out there, it's a big world of beer, and I'm here for the journey. I hope you are too. Until next time, cheers.